Welcome to Food Buffet Report.
I'm leaned back here in my tufted leather chair in front of Frankie Tomatoes. This is Aaron can talk about it, but I grabbed this. I was looking for famous buffet restaurants in Canada, and I happened to find this one. And look at the outside of it. Look how much is going on. It's like an amusement park filled with food, almost from the out. Looks like from the outside. So much happening. All the lights and with the leaning tower. I don't even know where the entrance is. It's hard to tell.
You
Aaron,
see,
tell us about this place, Frankie Tomatoes.
well, the entrance is actually, do you see the red awning?
Is that the entrance?
Just below the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Can you eat on the top of that leaning tower? Is that a functional leaning tower where you could look out the window and be like, hey, the pasta up here's great. I'm on the 7th floor.
It's actually just a skeleton of the tower. There's no inside of it. It's a facade.
If it was in the United States, it would not be a facade. You would be eating breadsticks and pasta on top of that thing, looking out the window. But Canada, you guys, you half-assed it.
As they say, everything's bigger in Texas.
True.
That's in the United States, right?
That is. Should we, now that we've seen the outside of the restaurant, should we go inside? When was this place open, by the way? It looks like it's very like 60s, 70s.
Frankie Tomatoes opened in 1992 and has been a hands-down success, feeding well over 11 million.
Wow.
From the Leaning Tower of Frankie to the perfectly reproduced Italian theme rooms and endless array of piping hot food, you'll feel like you've been invited personally to dine with the family.
How hot is piping hot? What the heck does that even piping hot? Would you ever send it back and be like, yeah, this is not piping hot? And they'd be like, well, is there a temperature associated with piping hot? 200 degrees, 300, 1,000 degrees? How hot is piping hot? Find out.
Do you know what piping hot is?
No, that's what I mean. It's like cook.
No, I'm doing a thing.
Oh.
Do you know what piping hot is? Tell us in the comments. Okay, let's go inside and look at the first picture of the buffet.
You know, I think this is appropriate because we've started with, as you would normally, the salad bar. Although buffets don't have there's no specific way you could go and eat dessert first at a buffet, right? You can. Nobody can stop you. There's no one like, hey, you can't start with a dessert. You could eat in any order you want at a buffet. I don't think that's going to be the same at a regular sit-down restaurant. Do you think people are going to be like, I haven't been to a buffet in so long, and I know that this is not normally how it's done, but I'd like to order dessert first like I would at Frankie's. And they're going to order their dessert at the sit-down restaurant. It could start a whole trend.
Well, you'll definitely invite judgment from the server.
Server judgment. It's the worst kind of judgment.
So these are beautiful looking salads. And one thing that I notice is that none of these salads have yet been disturbed. They all look full, and none of these salads, especially the two in the foreground here, look like they've been dug into yet.
Yeah, maybe when you're going to take a photo, you want to make it look like a bounty. You know what I mean? Like,
well, of course. And that leads me to the question, was this photo taken by the restaurant themselves? And I think that if it had been, they definitely would not have included that cardboard box in the background, the bent pizza plate, the pitcher with oil and a brush in it, and the coffee mug underneath the equipment there, not to mention the really, really, really dirty pizza oven door. That's just the first half of the photo. That's the left side of the photo. Then if we go to the right side of the photo, we're looking at a whole other mess of things. A bowl, a mixing bowl that's just kind of hanging out there. A box that looks like it has rubber gloves for rubber gloves.
Yeah.
A pitcher with some sort of marinara sauce. It's not the greatest photo. I mean, I feel like half of it should have been cropped out, but the lower half of the photo is virtually perfect, aside from the onions and the little piece of lettuce that got away. And also, it looks like they need to do some recocking on the front of the what is that called? The metal plate, like the insert.
It's cold plate.
The cold plate insert. They need to recock that to the granite because it's looking a little bit messy.
That cold plate is either mechanically cooled or there's ice in there. I don't know if they can use loose ice to keep the salad cold, but probably it's mechanically controlled. You set those pans on there. What's with the tongs? The tongs are yellow, and yellow in a kitchen, they have color coordinated things, and yellow tongs. Yellow would normally be poultry tongs.
Oh, is that so?
Typically, you're going to have red would be meat, red meat. Green would be vegetables. Yellow would be poultry because chicken is yellow. So these are chicken tongs
for the salad.
Yeah. So I don't know if maybe they thought no one would ever see this. They could just get away with using chicken tongs. Maybe when they ordered their tongs, they ordered salad bar tongs and the person shipped them chicken tongs by mistake. And the person at Frankie Tomatto's, maybe one of the sons of the owner, who's kind of usually the nitwit, he probably opened the box and, anxious to see what was in there, like all excited, like, we got a box. And he opened it real quick and took the tongs out. And his dad came in and he's like, what are you doing? You opened these are poultry tongs. We have too many of these. We've got to send them back to the supplier. And they couldn't because they were already open. And they're like, we have to use them on the salad bar. And there you go. That's how the poultry tongs made it to the salad bar. It's when you study these photos as much as we do, no detail is overlooked. It seems like a lot of salads, though. It's like overkill and probably redundant ingredients in each one, right?
I've been to Frankie Tomatto's before, and the abundance there of food and variety is very plentiful.
I think that's their thing, though, right? Abundance. But, lettuce. Lettuce. Field greens. Butter. What's a butter lettuce? Spinach. Romaine. Iceberg. More lettuces for the salads. Bib lettuce. Kale. What I'm just saying, and I don't even know if this is all of the salads. I feel like there's even more. We couldn't even get in the frame.
Thanks for watching this edition of Food Buffet Report. We're going to be at Frankie Tomatto's all month for the month of September. So tune in next week for another delicious spread from Frankie Tomatto's in Toronto, Canada.
Thanks.